Hi dear students, you are welcome in this video. I hope you are getting benefit of the series we started on multiple choice questions. We covered many topics in multiple choice questions, right from literary theory or criticism to some basic forms of poetry like ode, sonnet, elegy and others. Dear students, this is one more video in the same series. In the previous video, we talked or covered the English critics, select English critics. This is also a video on select English critics, and we also have prepared 20 multiple choice questions for you. I hope you are enjoying this series too. So dear students, I have an announcement for you. Actually, it is an information. We have created a Telegram channel called Literature Simply, and on that channel we post PDF material on various topics. We post notes for the students for further reference. So dear students, please join that Telegram channel called Literature Simply. Just go to Telegram and type in the search bar Literature Simply. You will get this channel and join it. Now today we are covering some select English critics through multiple choice questions. So as usual, you need to take a pen and paper and put down the questions. We have here 20 questions. Question number 1, in front of question number 1, your answer or the option you think which is correct, and at the end you have to calculate the score. We have assigned 40 marks to these 20 questions, means each question carries 2 marks. So this is a simple test and I have prepared simple questions for you. So let's get into the video. So dear students, here we have select English critics S.T. Coleridge, I.A. Richards and T.S. Eliot, and we also talk about the work called Biographia Literaria and the essay called Tradition and Individual Talent. More focus will be on these two works in literary criticism which are very significant. So here we have first question. When did Biographia Literaria publish? And options are A 1798, B 1800, C 1815 and D 1817. Please note down correct option, and the correct option is D 1817. So Biographia Literaria, which is a very important work in literary criticism, because we find that from neoclassical criticism we turn to romantic criticism or romantic period criticism, and this work plays a crucial role in setting the norms, setting the rules or regulations for romantic criticism, further which is adopted by many poets or many authors when they wrote. So this works becomes an important work in English criticism. Next question, number 2, who wrote Biographia Literaria? And options are A I.A. Richards, B T.S. Eliot, C S.T. Coleridge and D William Wordsworth. So please note down your option, and the correct option is C S.T. Coleridge. Samuel Taylor Coleridge composed this work called Biographia Literaria in 1817. Actually, he started working on this project in 1815, but it is published in 1817. Question number 3, Biographia Literaria is a reply to dash. Options are A Tradition and Individual Talent, B Preface to Lyrical Ballads, C Lyrical Ballads and D School of Abuse. And the correct answer is B Preface to Lyrical Ballads. So we found that Lyrical Ballads was composed in collaboration with William Wordsworth. We have S.T. Coleridge and William Wordsworth Lyrical Ballads published in 1798. But in 1800 we found that Preface to Lyrical Ballads by William Wordsworth published, and as a reply to this preface, here we have work called Biographia Literaria by S.T. Coleridge. So this work is an important work in the canon of literary criticism. Question number 4, the two parts of Biographia Literaria, there are dash chapters. So how many chapters are there in Biographia Literaria? We have options A 21, B 22, C 23 and D 24. So this is a bit difficult question, I know, but this question is important so that you can understand the work of Biographia Literaria, how many chapters are there, how it is composed, different types of things are there. And the correct option is B 22. There are 22 chapters in Biographia Literaria, which is composed in two parts. When you think about these two parts of Biographia Literaria, you find that in the first part we have philosophical remarks of S.T. Coleridge, and in the second part specifically we found that it is dedicated to the theory of poetry. We found that the theory of imagination, different types of concepts he introduced in the second part of this Biographia Literaria. So remember this. Students, again there is important information. In the first part we have first to 13 chapters, and in the second part we have 14th to 22nd chapters. So this also you should remember. Question number 5. Biographia Literaria is a critical examination of dash. Options are A. Wordsworth's theory of poetry, B. Eliot's theory of tradition, C. Richard's principles of criticism, and D. None of the above. I hope this is simple question. Please note down your answer, and the correct option is A. Wordsworth's theory of poetry. As we found that in preface we have Wordsworth's theory, and as a reply to this theory S.T. Coleridge composed Biographia Literaria. Next question. Who propounded the theory of fancy and imagination? Options are A. I.A. Richards, B. S.T. Coleridge, C. T.S. Eliot, and D. William Wordsworth. And the correct option is B. S.T. Coleridge propounded the theory of fancy and imagination. Question number 7. The concept of willing suspension of disbelief of Coleridge indicates dash. Options are A. Nature of poetic and dramatic illusion, B. Suspended beliefs, C. Images used in literature, D. All of the above. So what is this willing suspension of disbelief? A concept again propounded by S.T. Coleridge. Please note down your option, and the correct option is A. Nature of poetic and dramatic illusion. So willing suspension of disbelief is nothing but it talks about the nature of poetry and its dramatic illusion. Next question 8. In the last chapter of Biographia Literaria dash of Wordsworth are discussed. So what is discussed in the Biographia Literaria's last chapter? So there are 22 chapters, and in 22nd chapter what is discussed? Options are A. Works, B. C and D, C. Defects, and D. Merits. What is discussed there in the last chapter? This is a difficult question, I know, but it's an important question, and the correct option is B, C and D. Means if you look at this last chapter, you find S.T. Coleridge talks about defects and merits of William Wordsworth, his theory. So he talks about the negative points and positive points regarding Wordsworth's theory of poetry. For example, diction, he talks about diction, simple language, style, etc. The same things he has elaborated in the 22nd chapter of Biographia Literaria. 9. Who wrote Principles of Literary Criticism? Options are A. I.A. Richards, B. T.S. Eliot, C. S.T. Coleridge, and D. William Wordsworth. Please note down your option, and the correct option is A. I.A. Richards composed Principles of Literary Criticism. Question number 10. Who wrote the essay Tradition and the Individual Talent? This is again an important essay in literary criticism. Options are A. I.A. Richards, B. T.S. Eliot, C. S.T. Coleridge, and D. William Wordsworth. Please put down your option, and the correct option is B. T.S. Eliot composed this essay Tradition and the Individual Talent. Question number 11. Who replied to the attack on poetry by Thomas Love Peacock in 4 Ages of Poetry? So there is a work composed by Thomas Love Peacock called 4 Ages of Poetry, and in that work Thomas Love Peacock attacks poetry. So who replied to this attack? Options are A. T.S. Eliot, B. William Wordsworth, C. S.T. Coleridge, and D. I.A. Richards. Please put down your option, and the correct option is D. I.A. Richards replied to Thomas Lowe Peacock's attack on poetry. 12. Richards wrote following book or books on literary criticism. Options are A. Practical criticism, B. Coleridge on imagination, C. Foundation of aesthetics and meaning of meaning, D. All of the above. So which book or books are composed by I.A. Richards? And the correct option is D. All of the above. So all these books have been composed by I.A. Richards. Question number 13. According to Richards, creation of poetry is based on dash. Options are A system of impulse, B. human mind which is complex, C. human unconscious mind, and D. none of the above. Please note down your option, and correct option is A system of impulse. Now if you look at I.A. Richards' theory of poetry or theory of literature, you find that I.A. Richards focus on this psychology, human psychology, how human mind works, and based on that he says that the result of creation is depend completely on the working of human mind. And here we find the focus is shifted from other things to psychology in I.A. Richards' criticism, in I.A. Richards' theory of poetry. Hence the system of impulse is nothing but the working of human mind, which is given more significance by I.A. Richards in composition of poetry or in composition of literature. So this thing also you should remember. Question number 14. Most of the criticism of Richards is based on. Options are A. working of human mind, B. psychology of human mind, C. behavior of human mind, and D. relation of human being to literature. So please note down correct option, and the correct option is B. psychology of human mind, as we saw that he has given more importance to the psychology of human mind. Next question. Who defines the end of criticism as the elucidation of works of art and the correction of taste? Who defined criticism in this way? We have options A. William Wordsworth, B. S.T. Coleridge, C. T.S. Eliot, and D. I.A. Richards. Please note down correct option, and the correct option is C. T.S. Eliot. According to T.S. Eliot, the end of criticism. Now end means the objective or purpose of criticism is to elucidate and correct the taste. So this has been changed in the modern time. If you go in the earlier criticism, for example neoclassical or romantic criticism, you find we have a shift in this criticism and the end of criticism. Here very clearly T.S. Eliot states that the correction of taste means the improved taste should be given by literature. So literature is, we can say that for correction of taste, it is for the taste of audience, for the taste of readers. So elucidation of works of art and the correction of taste. Question number 16. The theory of impersonality or extinction of personality is discussed in dash. In which work this theory is discussed? Options are A. Tradition and the Individual Talent, B. Lyrical Ballads in 1798, C. Preface to Lyrical Ballads in 1800, D. Biographia Literaria in 1817. Please note down your option, and this theory is discussed in option A. Tradition and the Individual Talent. 17. Poetry is not a turning loose of emotion but an escape from emotion. It is not the expression of personality but an escape from personality. Who said? This is a famous statement, and who said this statement? We have options A. I.A. Richards, B. S.T. Coleridge, C. T.S. Eliot, and D. F.R. Lewis. Please put down your option, and correct option is T.S. Eliot. These words are of T.S. Eliot's. Poetry is not a turning loose of emotion but an escape from emotion. It is not the expression of personality but an escape from personality. Question number 18. According to Eliot, dash plays a crucial role in judging any literary work of art. Options are A. Imagination, B. Historical background, C. Social circumstances, and D. Tradition and individual talent. The correct option is D. Tradition and individual talent. Now here tradition according to T.S. Eliot is nothing but the best works in the past, and those works which come in the present. So in a simple way we can say that the works today we are discussing are important, which are composed in the past. So based on this we can judge the contemporary literature, the contemporary poetry, and this is the tradition. So it is very simple in the words of T.S. Eliot. Next, the role of poet in creation of poetry is that of A. Options are A, most significant, B, catalytic agent, C, agent of imagination, and D, all of the above. Again, I hope this is simple question, and the correct option is B, catalytic agent. According to T.S. Eliot, poet should be work as a catalyst in creation of poetry. And the last question, Eliot's tradition implies dash. A, recognition of continuity of literature, B, a critical judgment past writers continue in present, C, a knowledge of significant writers, and D, all of the above. So what is mean by tradition according to Eliot? Please choose your option, and the correct option is D, all of the above. In tradition we find all these things: recognition of continuity of literature, a critical judgment, and a knowledge of significant writers. So these three things are there in the tradition. Based on these three things we can judge any literature in the present. So I hope, dear students, this is 20 multiple choice questions. Please now you can calculate your score and comment your score in the comment section. I will appreciate your score. If you feel that you do not scored well in the MCQs, you need not to worry. I am here. Just whatever problem you face, you can directly comment in the comment box. I will answer to your question definitely. And also join the Telegram channel Literature Simply. You will get this PDF on the Telegram channel called Literature Simply. So thank you very much for watching the complete video. Let's meet in the next video.